Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, I'm going to tell you guys about a man who's frustrated with his landlord not allowing him to have unregistered guests in his condo, apartment, the place he's renting at. So stick around till the end. I'm going to read you guys a story, tell you guys the comments, and my personal thoughts at the end. If you've never been to the Philippines, this information might be informative for you. If you're already living there, then you know what I'm talking about. Let's get into today's story. Here's today's comment. Airbnb reminder to all, but for single guys more. Always read and question house rules, especially for longer rental. They can kick you out and keep your cash. I just returned to Cebu after traveling, I guess you mean Cebu, after traveling to the Philippines 4 weeks, and they asked for IDs for all guests. I sent mine, of course, and I said, are visitors allowed? He said yes, if you clear it in advance. So I inquired, if I'm having dinner with someone and we want to go up for a drink, you want to know in advance? He says, yes, as the owner has the right to know. I mentioned the security guard will take the guest ID and return it when they leave. And the owner says, that's a violation of the terms of use and you can be kicked out with no refund. Needless to say, I did not book with him and I am not questioning his rights to do it that way. When you say the owner must know everyone before they come in, it may sound like a good idea in theory, but the practical aspects are totally different, as is often the case in the Philippines. Single guys, be aware and give your business to those that understand a guest may come over sometimes. Read the house rules and question them so it's in writing to protect yourself. Good luck. Okay, so what this guy's basically saying is that he was going to rent an Airbnb, but the host said you can't have unregistered guests. You got to let him know ahead of time, and he's really upset about it. There's so much to get into right now. Let's take a look at some of the comments. I'll tell you guys my personal thoughts in a second. A girl says they don't want you bringing back a random prostitute every other day. There's hotels for that type of activity. They won't care if you have guests or frequent girlfriends and will usually recognize her and wave her through after 2 or 3 visits. An excellent point. Now, I am a property owner. I rent my home in Canada, and this is exactly what the whole situation is. You don't want random prostitutes coming into your home because they may not have been vetted. The owner or the guest doesn't know them well enough to go ahead and make that decision on your behalf because they could damage the property. And sometimes your deposit is not enough to cover some of the costs. So it's a hassle, especially if you're a foreigner, right? A lot of men, unfortunately, come to the Philippines because they're looking for women, they're looking for a good time, and you know, whatever. I'm not here to judge people, but as a homeowner, that's something you have to definitely consider, and that is the reason why they need ID in advance in case there's damage to the property, in case there's any kind of theft. If they steal your things, it's for your own protection as well as a guest staying in that unit, and so many other, you know, before there was COVID situation, and there's always like these safety and security reasons why they want you to know the person you're bringing in. And typically, if you have a girlfriend, multiple ones even, they don't care. Just let them know ahead of time. Give them a heads up. And even if you're going, let's say, to a mall like I do often, and you come across somebody you want to bring back to your place, it takes you at least 20 minutes, right, to get to actually your Airbnb. Send the host a message, send the ID, send the number, whatever you got to do to protect yourself, to protect the owner, and even her, in case something happens, she needs to know that she's covered your guests as well. Let's take a look at another comment. Another woman says, sometimes it's not just the owner's rules, it's the building management rules. We have a condo unit for rent in Cibao? Is that another place? I got that. What is Cibao? Is Cibao a place? Maybe I've never heard of this place. Let me know. I don't want to Google it. Just let me know in the comments. We have a condo unit for rent in Cebu. I still can't say it. We need to update the list for authorized guests. We will be fine if we don't follow. So we normally explain to our tenants they cannot bring random people into the unit without our knowledge. For sure, it's such a hassle, but it's also for safety and security reasons. Worst case scenario, if you let someone in, someone you barely know perhaps, who just met online, and do bad things to you and rob the entire apartment. Or what if the extra person will make a scene in the building and she's not even a registered guest? It will be a big problem for the owner. He will be fined more than what you paid for. I mean, those rules weren't set for nothing. It's a valid reason. I also use and rent Airbnbs. Anyway, so yeah, this person basically said exactly what I was thinking, especially in the Philippines. They're really keen on security. That's why you see so many security guards at the mall, at the restaurants, the cafes, and in buildings. So that's the other tip. If you're coming to the Philippines, be aware. So they are really good with trying to secure the place. Don't expect to be bringing random people. And here's one last tip for you guys. You want an ID because you never know when somebody is underage or It can be some random person that you don't want to get in trouble basically with, especially in the Philippines. Anywhere in the world, you want to do things properly. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a man. I understand it's sometimes a little bit embarrassing, maybe a little bit shy. You don't want to be coming in with a different girl every other day of the week if you're trying to find your perfect partner. But trust me, you're not the first person, you're not the last person. Filipino security guards or owners are not going to judge you. This is for your own safety, so be sure you follow these rules because something can go wrong. Another person says there's a flip side to that as well. People booking for 2 persons and then using the room with 8 persons, causing additional utility expenses and wear and tear. You will be fine and safe with Airbnb. Just always read the house rules. I've always been hosting for 10 years. I've been hosting for 10 years now and seen it all. For the single guys, always declare 2 persons staying. 90% of the hosts don't charge extra for a second person and not need their ID. There's another excellent point, right? Another major part is like as a host, as an owner of property, you don't want to be renting out for 2 people and having like a whole family stay there because it's just not fair for you at all. Because like, first of all, the space can be used and damaged and utilities go through the roof, especially now in the Philippines considering the high cost of electricity. So all those things have to be considered by the unit owner before they can rent it out. That's why they're so anal about trying to check all the IDs and who's staying within the unit itself. Someone says, that's so real. I felt like a criminal when I wanted to go with my friend to Airbnb because of all the explanations I had to give to security guards and owners. It was really awkward. In addition, there were times when I did not plan to return to anyone. So I was like, next time I'll try to make it a place without security guards and without so many rules. Although I guess it will be for safety. Although in Spain, I've never experienced it. Okay, so kind of contradicting its own comments there. But the whole idea is safety. Like, think about it if you're a unit owner. And in the Philippines, let's be honest, prostitution or girls coming over is a bit more common than some other countries like Spain, at least for people staying in Airbnb. If you want to do that kind of activity, just rent at a hotel, man. Nobody really cares in hotels. These are people's homes you're staying in. It's supposed to be a different type of feeling, not a brothel, let's say. Look, man, I don't judge anybody for doing anything. I'm not perfect. I've been with several people in the Philippines and I had never planned to bring them over. But you got to think of it from their perspective. All you got to do is send a message to the homeowner ahead of time. By the time you get to the building or the condo, whether they respond or not, you've done your due diligence, right? Despite all that, try to book a place that they don't have those kind of rules in place. But keep in mind, in the Philippines, every single condo I've stayed at has security guards. So if you're embarrassed, if you're shy, consider staying somewhere, maybe at a hotel, a resort, somewhere where they're not so strict and, you know, precise with the rules, let's say. It's one of those things you really got to do your homework. You got to know why you're renting the place. The whole idea of this guy saying is that be sure you check the house rules. And the thing with Airbnb is like, I actually don't know why he's even paying a deposit, to be honest. Don't ever pay a deposit on Airbnb. You're covered through Airbnb itself because you've given up your ID. If anything happens, they have your credit card. I don't know anybody that's given away. Some countries, actually, not just the Philippines, I don't know where it was, they always wanted someone to give a deposit, or if they're staying over 30 days to leave money for electricity and water. Airbnb is becoming a hassle for me personally. I've rented through Airbnb multiple times throughout the years, probably for the past 10 years or longer. And they used to be really good, much more discounted than hotels. But now when you actually look at it, the prices are through the roof, just like anything else. They want you to sometimes give like money for utilities in advance. And especially if you're staying over 30 days, there's too many things. Basically, read the house rules, negotiate, talk to the people. If the place isn't for you, then don't rent anything. Also, check the reviews. That's very important. Not only on Airbnb, but on Google Maps as well. Many times the Airbnb host will tell you the apartment, the condo name. Take that, go ahead and put it into Google, look at the reviews, and see what people are saying regarding guests, security, and any other hassle, for example, if the pool is not working, all these other things. Now, I made this video not to take sides on the owners or the renters or whatever. I get it. I'm a man. I travel. You want to spend some time with people. But the problem is, it's not giving advance notice and the owner protecting themselves. And I want to make this video to bring you the news. Like this guy, he was surprised. I don't want you coming to the Philippines and being completely surprised with identification, ID, and security and all that stuff. And the Philippines, they really protect their women and children. That's why it's so difficult for women to leave sometimes on vacation. And all these other rules that are there for a certain reason because they're trying to crack down on those things. And yeah, leave your thoughts down below. Let me know if you had any experiences when it comes to security, guests staying over, anything like that. If you take the time to write it, I'll take the time to respond. And that's it for this one. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.